While other teams might look down on bringing in players from the UFL, the professional version of spring football, the Dallas Cowboys have done the opposite and thrived. In fact, the Cowboys have found a pair of stars through signing free agents from the UFL in NFL All-Pro and two-time Pro Bowl kick returner Cavani Turpin and two-time NFL All-Pro and two-time Pro Bowl kicker Brandon Aubrey. That's why the Cowboys should go back to the UFL and take a big swing on one of the most well-known UFL players of all time in Arlington Renegades quarterback Luis Perez, the self-described Spring King and reigning UFL passing champion with 2,298 passing yards through 10 games. Cowboys co-owner Stephen Jones seemed open to the possibility of bringing in another UFL star in recent comments to the Dallas Morning News. Obviously, we're paying a little attention. We've found a player or two through the UFL, Jones told DMN's Calvin Watkins on June 4th. We're watching that in terms of those guys doing a good job over there, and we'll see if there's anybody who can help us there, and we'll just keep our eyes on what might become available. With Perez, the Cowboys might be able to get a legitimate QB3 option and a player with deep ties to Texas. Luis Perez, UFL leading passer, 2025 season mixtape #Path of Spring King, from D2 to best-selling author in terms of self-promotion, Perez might have one of the great runs of all time after he wrote a best-selling autobiography with Spring King, a champion's journey of passion, persistence, and unlimited possibility, released in March 2025. From the book's description, the Spring King tells the inspiring story of Luis Perez, a man who defied the odds to become a professional quarterback despite never playing high school football. Before pursuing his NFL dream, Luis was an amateur bowler, but his passion for football led him to teach himself how to play quarterback through YouTube tutorials. After overcoming countless obstacles and setbacks, he won a national championship and the Harlan Hill Trophy in college. His journey took him through the NFL, USFL, UFL, and XFL, where he secured a championship. Perez's national championship came playing college football in Texas, when he led Texas A&M Commerce to the 2017 NCAA Division II National Championship and won the Harlan Hill Trophy as the nation's best Division II player after throwing for 5,001 yards, 46 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and completed 70.6% of his passes. Luis Perez TO Tyler Vaughn's for 6 television. ESPN Plus Perez has played for 10 teams in 8 years. Perez's pro career has been truly something to behold in terms of movement and determination. Since 2018, Perez has played for 10 different teams in 5 different leagues: the AAF, XFL, USFL, UFL, and NFL. That includes stints with 4 different NFL teams on their training camp squads or practice rosters, including the Los Angeles Chargers, Philadelphia Eagles, Detroit Lions, and twice with the Los Angeles Rams. Perez was most recently with the Chargers in 2024. Perez, who turns 31 years old in August, has experienced his most success as a pro over the last 2 years, winning an XFL championship and being named XFL Championship Game MVP with the Renegades, as well as winning consecutive UFL passing titles in 2024 and 2025. The Dallas Cowboys are entering the 2025 season with a roster in transition, blending established veterans with a promising influx of rookie talent. After a disappointing 2024 campaign, the front office aggressively targeted areas of need in the draft, and early off-season workouts suggest several veterans could see their roles diminished or even lose their starting jobs if they don't rise to the challenge. Here are 3 Cowboys veterans whose positions are under serious threat from hungry rookies this summer. Javonte Williams is the veteran back in a crowded backfield. Javonte Williams arrived in Dallas on a modest 1-year, $3 million deal, expected to help stabilize a running back group that underperformed last season. Williams, 25, is coming off a year in which he posted 513 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns on 139 carries, with an additional 346 yards on 52 receptions. While his pass-catching ability is a plus, his rushing efficiency, just 3.8 yards per carry, dropping to 3.4 in the season's second half, has left much to be desired. The Dallas Cowboys made a blockbuster trade when they acquired George Pickens from the Pittsburgh Steelers, but his addition could mean the departure of former third-round pick Jalen Tolbert. After spending his first 2 seasons in a depth role, the South Alabama product broke out with a strong 2024. Appearing in all 17 games while making 15 starts, Tolbert finished the year with 49 receptions for 610 yards and 7 touchdowns while catching passes from Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, and Trey Lance. Jalen Tolbert isn't an all-pro by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a reliable second or third option in a passing attack. However, with Pickens and superstar CeeDee Lamb ahead of him on the depth chart, Bleacher Report's Gary Davenport believes the Cowboys could entertain a Jalen Tolbert trade. While they might not get anything more than a day 3 pick for his services, some receiver-needy teams could pick up the phone. Sure, Dallas isn't exactly overflowing with depth at wide receiver, but it also makes sense for the Cowboys to try to get the ball into the hands of speedster Cavani Turpin-Moore in 2025, Davenport writes. Several teams are worse off at wideout than Dallas, and with Tolbert entering the last year of his rookie deal, the argument can be made for shopping them. The Los Angeles Chargers are ready to compete for a championship heading into the second year of the Jim Harbaugh era. After making the playoffs in year 1, Harbaugh and company upgraded the trenches throughout the offseason and have a roster capable of winning old-school football games. However, they need more receiving talent to go blow for blow with the elite passing attacks of the Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, and Baltimore Ravens. A Jalen Tolbert trade would give this team some much-needed help at the position and give Justin Herbert a proven weapon opposite Ladd McConkey. The fate of the Tennessee Titans rests in the hands of first overall pick Cam Ward, which means the team must do everything they can to support him. Calvin Ridley is a good wide receiver, but Tyler Lockett is well past his prime and Treylon Burks has yet to justify his first-round draft capital. Jalen Tolbert won't single-handedly determine Ward's success in the NFL, but it can't hurt to trade a late-round pick for a player who could be the second-best receiver in this offense. The New Orleans Saints will not compete for much of anything in the 2025 season. However, that shouldn't stop them from upgrading the wide receiver room with a Jalen Tolbert trade. Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed are an adequate duo, but Olave's extensive concussion history makes him a risk for a full 17-game season. Tolbert could provide some much-needed stability to this room and help either Spencer Rattler or second-round pick Tyler Shaw develop into a legitimate franchise quarterback.
Joined.